Hello, I'm Nathaniel Smith, and today I'm reviewing The Gammage Cup by Carol Kendall. Kendall. Hope you can see that. So this is a great little fantasy book. Let me explain the story. So basically you have these people, Minipins, and they're small people completely surrounded by mountains and isolated basically by their own species themselves. The reason is because of the mushrooms, which they had wars on over gold for a long period of time. But this was eons ago, and everyone's moved on, and now they're just in their villages and whatnot. And, yeah. So, the only element I'll say in a sort of slightly weakish way is that the towns have a certain Shire-esqueness to it. But what really makes this work is, one, they have a hero that everyone looks up to that's actually a fool. They made a hero out of a fool, which is quite ironic in a way. Also, it's the fact of the ignorance of the people, the Minipins themselves. They have no knowledge of anything past this history they remember of a fool. So they don't remember what their society used to be, and the few historical pieces they have is clearly mixed up, and someone that has knowledge like ourselves would notice that. And it was very well handled and done in that respect. Also, there's this very fascinating fact of the town trying to be perfect and having everything look exactly the same color houses, the same shape, nothing remotely different. Sounds strangely familiar, doesn't it? Anyways, so yeah, and basically our main characters from our main characters, Muggles, Gummy the Poet, Water the Earl, and so forth, they're the ones that actually have different colored doors and just do different things that the rest of the people don't think is important or significant. And eventually, they literally banish them out. And it's there that they really discover that the mushrooms, which are the monsters that they fought beforehand, are found a way to come back through these old mines. And basically they have to defend the land and get help from the very town that banned them, or, outlawed them. And yeah, overall it's a really great story. It has some neat elements here and there. I suppose I would have liked, since it is a fantasy novel, a little more magic in certain aspects, but overall it's really good. There's great little bits of poetry in there that's different than other forms of poetry used in fantasy novels. And although the sword in this book is glowing, sounds familiar, doesn't it? The neat thing is the swords don't actually affect the Minipins themselves, so they can, nearly cut themselves, but it doesn't affect them, so that's kind of cool. And, yeah, overall, it's a pretty solid book. Should definitely give it a read.